I'm sorry, I didn't know what to do. I mean, it was so crazy. It happened so fast, but it doesn't change anything. It doesn't matter. I care for you so much.
Care. But you don't love me anymore.
Who said that I didn't?
You never say it.
I say it.
You can't even write it, Mike. From Mike. From Mike. From Mike. From Mike. From.
Okay, 11, you're being ridiculous. What is this?
You're scared of losing her. You're guiding the whole party, inspiring us. That's what you do. And see your coat of arms here? It's a heart. And I know it's sort of on the nose, but that's what holds this whole party together. Heart. Don't stop. Okay, you're the heart. Okay, remember that. You're the heart.
Season 4, Volume 2, we made it! It's been 3 months, and I haven't posted anything, but we made it! After a while, it's been a very long time since I've decided to start working on a video. It feels like it's been a while. I've done cat stuff, I've been doing workout stuff, I've been doing school stuff, basically anything except working on my YouTube channel, just for lack of a better word, like bad habit. But I'm here now, and I'm here to continue and wrap up my first video series, which of course has been taking forever. So let's skip past me and jump right into what we're all here for. The final part of my Byler Analysis series. Let's get into it.
She never is. I don't know, sometimes I feel like I'm going crazy. Me too. Hey, well, if we're both going crazy, then we'll go crazy together, right? Yeah. Crazy together.
Okay, so for those of you who don't remember what happened last week on Shameless, 11 was being bullied, Will was being gay and uncomfortable, Angela humiliated Elle on her date / Will's birthday, she beat her with a roller skate, and Mike and Will fought because...
You were rolling your eyes, you were moping, you were barely talking, you basically sabotaged the whole thing.
Well, she was lying to you, Mike. Straight to your face ever since you got here. And I've been a total third wheel all day. It's been miserable.
And Elle gets arrested the next day. They plan to get her out, but Brenner's people put them on house arrest and explain why she's with Brenner. Mike apologizes, and Will almost cries during the apology. They come up with a plan to leave, but some military people come looking for Elle and interrupt the plan, causing Jonathan, Argyle, Mike, Will, and one of Brenner's dying agents to escape in a pizza van. He dies a few hours later, and they start digging a grave for him in the desert. Will almost, sorta comes out to Mike, and Argyle starts trying to use a code pen, but it doesn't work because it's a pen with a code in it, not a regular pen. Mike figures out it's a code pen, and they call the number, but it doesn't work, so they trick Dustin's girlfriend into helping them find an IP address in Nevada using a code pen. And that's what happened. So, as you know already from my previous videos, I like to break down these sections from Mike's part and Will's part, and then we'll go ahead and discuss the most Byler scene of the season. So, let's start. For Will, this feels like a natural character arc because it's kind of just a continuation of season 3. After the rain fight, he kind of just accepted that Mike was the way he was now, girl crazy and kind of a douche. So he stopped talking to him, and that carried on in California. Will didn't call him, and as far as he knows, Mike didn't call him either. And then when Elle got here, he kind of ruined his birthday, and then they proceeded to argue, fight, and make up, and which results in this emotional moment in the van that we'll discuss soon. But Will's main character arc this season is that he's just avoiding Mike. He's kind of sidelined. He doesn't really get that many plot lines. He's only really relevant when it comes to if he's in a room with another character. Like, in comparison to seasons like season 2, you could have entire scenes, or maybe even most episodes, where Will could just be the main character and not be constantly piggybacking off of someone else. But in season 4, since Elle's story is more mainline, Will has just kind of been put to the side in this weird area where he's only relevant if another character is talking to him. That's my opinion on it from a writing standpoint, just, comparing it to the rest of the series. But as a character, I think it makes sense a bit, because this could, when you think about it, this really could just be Will's way of trying to restore their friendship and open up to Mike the same way that they were open with each other in season 2. And while I don't really like Jonathan's storyline all that much, I do like Will and Jonathan's interactions this season. They didn't sideline the fact that they're brothers and they haven't talked in a while, and I think that was a really sweet touch. Especially with a lot of angsty, tender, emotional music moments, it's really nice that we get some positivity in Will's storyline, even if it's just a little bit. Like, look, it's not all bad. They're hugging. I think Will's arc this season is more about identity and, well, at least for the 3 seconds that he's on screen at a time. And whenever he's not talking about Vecna, he is talking about Mike and being honest with the people around him. So I do think this season was more of him trying to be more open with the people around him and at least trying a little to restore his relationship with Mike. 2 things are really important in Will's storyline this season and his character arc: communication and being open. Specifically with his identity and the way he talks to people, he's communicating really bad. He's been communicating really bad. I mean, in earlier seasons, he was young and he was just, going through all the motions and everything. But in season 4, he doesn't tell Mike that I was being bullied. He doesn't voice his opinions or what's going on with him until it results in an argument from them not talking. And he wasn't the one to apologize and start talking first. Mike was. So he's more of a quiet person this season. He doesn't voice his concerns as much as he needs to. And he and Jonathan have even stopped talking, which they repair in this season, but it was a thing. Other than that, he's just like a Mitski song. I swear I just hear Washing Machine Heart every time he pops up on screen. And with that, time to move on to Mike. I do have to say, it feels like everything to say about Mike Wheeler has been said like 1,000 times. No matter what season you look at him, there's an analysis video for it, I guarantee. But I feel like I have found the best way to concisely go into all of this stuff without rambling too much about irrelevant contents until we get to the fandom part. So let's jump right into him. One of the main things I see talked about is how out of character Mike is this season, or even how it might be so extreme to the point where it's a retcon of his total character. I can totally see where the out of character actions and words and everything may be aligned. Like, I can totally see it. And some of you may be wondering, but what do you mean? How is it out of character? This isn't a fanfiction. It was written by the Duffer Brothers. And that's not exactly what out of character means. When I say out of character in this context, it means compared to, I don't know, all of the seasons, Mike is the most not himself in season 4. Now, I think it's important to notice that I'm talking about in California Mike, when he's with Will and Elle and he's helping to save her and all this stuff. In the beginning of the season 4, where he is just, arguing with Lucas because Lucas wants to move on and be popular and Mike has no problem with the status that they're in. The fact that he joined the D&D club, he's happy with that. We'll get into that later. And I'm talking about California Mike. From the minute he stepped off the plane, it's like I was watching a different character completely. Now, he looks the same, but he doesn't act the same or do the same things that regular Mike would do. Like, take, for example, let's look back at Mike and Will's friendship through season 2 and maybe some clips even through season 1.
Hey, Mike. Is Will here? Now's not a really good time.
Is he okay?
He's just not feeling well. He's laying down, so I'll tell him to stop by, okay?
It's about the shadow monster, isn't it?
Hey. Are you okay? Yeah? Are you sure?
Of course.
What if he figures out we're spying on him? What if he spies back?
He won't.
No.
We won't let him.
Yeah, but what if you want to join another party?
Not possible.
All these scenes showing, like, a care for his friends, especially Will, and, overall just basic human decency. And you're telling me that the same Mike Wheeler that we both just watched is capable of doing, of dissing, of swerving his friend just like this?
What's that?
It's nothing. It's just this painting I've been working on.
Cool.
Or ignoring his friends on his birthday, or getting into an argument and not apologizing, and instead committing the 3 acts of douchery.
Well, then maybe you should have reached out more. I don't know. But why is this on me? Why am I the bad guy?
She didn't look fine. Just stay at home today.
That last scene always cracks me up. It's so awkward, and for what? Oh my god. Anyway, it is a very widely discussed topic around Mike, and I think we can all agree that he's a little out of character this season. Well, a little more than out of character, but yeah. It's just, I think the writing was just a bit different. He got sidelined, but he also got, I don't know, they also put him in that space where he's only really relevant if he's talking about Elle or he's talking about Will. A lot of these characters just get put in this area because there's so many main characters on the show that they're only really relevant if they're talking to somebody else, unlike in seasons 1 or 2, where you could have a character just on their own talking and they discover something important to the plot, or they still contribute to the plot, even though they're not talking. And it just felt more like they were their own people and not like it was just one big piggyback. Anyway, I think this piggybackification of the show kind of contributed to the detriment of Mike's character. So let's try to justify it. People, including me, are quick to write off Mike as being the main contributor to the friendship or lack thereof between Mike and Will this season, at least in the beginning. But that isn't necessarily true. I mean, while sure, Mike and Will haven't talked in a year, and he's been writing Elle like a book of letters, in Will's words, they're letters. Have we ever considered that Mike tried to contact Will another way? And in fact, I have proof that he did try to contact Will another way. Roll the clip.
Same shit.
How's that possible? I told you, Joyce has this telemarketer job. She's always on the phone. Mike won't stop whining about it.
Okay.
Did you catch that? Let's play it again.
I told you, Joyce has this telemarketer job. She's always on the phone. Mike won't stop whining about it.
Mike won't stop whining about it. The same Mike who said this?
Well, we used to be best friends. Well, then maybe you should have reached out more. I don't know. But why is this on me? Why am I the bad guy?
The problem is, we've been looking at all this from Will's perspective. Everything instantly changes when you look at it from Mike's perspective. So let's rewind. What happened in Mike's perspective?
Okay, so after Will leaves and over a year passes by where every time he tries to call Will, the line is busy, and Will never attempts to call him back, and he never gets any phone calls from Will, he just starts writing letters to Elle and putting her as top priority, which seems to be working out, only except for the fact that he's not putting I love you in the letters. He joins the D&D club sometime after Will leaves, where, you know, he's working under Eddie Munson, and he seems to be having a decent time, except for the fact that he's facing the same dilemma Will faced in season 3. Everyone around him wants to move on, except for Dustin maybe. Dustin's just really into D&D. Everybody wants to move on. Lucas wants to become more popular. Max isn't really into the group that much anymore. Mike's still doing the same thing. He's wearing a Hellfire shirt and he's going to D&D club. Why? Well, maybe it has something to do with the fact that Will has not called him through this entire year, when supposedly he's been trying to contact him, making him whine to Dustin about it. But things happen, people repress their homosexual tendencies, and he gets ready to go down to California. Obviously, he's assuming that Will never really wanted to talk to him, and then when he gets there, he's super stoked to see Elle, which, you know, normal, natural, all those things. This entire day, while he's having fun with Elle, Will seems to be moping around and not really talking that much, even though Mike does try to engage with him, despite Will seemingly ignoring him for a year, while he's just having a fun time with Elle, making it seem like Will never really wanted to be there in the first place, which kind of explains why Mike didn't really give a crap about Will's painting.
You wanna open my present now?
No, Simon, I don't really give a shit about your present.
Next thing he knows, Elle is knocked down, covered in chocolate shakes, sobbing somewhere. And of course, in Mike's perspective, it's like, why didn't you tell me? You've been moping all day. It's like you barely even want to be here. The next day he realizes, oh, maybe it was just some misunderstandings type situation. I shouldn't have yelled at Will like that. And doesn't apologize yet. He prioritizes Elle, because who has he been talking to for the majority of the year? Elle. Meanwhile, Will, in his perspective, has made no attempts to try and talk to him. Leading us back to Mike's most prevalent character trait, especially in season 4, passive avoidance. I could spend all day talking about how bad Will's communication skills are, but Mike's are even worse. What I mean by that is, he didn't tell Will or, you know, ask about, confront about, do any of that stuff when it came to the fact that he was just under the assumption that Will didn't speak to him for a year. He's probably still under that assumption. They made up and everything, but if I had to guess, I'd say it's because not only is he avoiding the situation, he might feel like he deserves it for the rain scene. Mike, a lot like his father, passively avoids multiple situations. Like the fact that he doesn't say I love you to Elle. He doesn't deny that he loves her, but he doesn't say that he loves her either. Like in the argument that I played in the beginning. He doesn't outwardly say that he's avoiding it, but he doesn't say it either. Not until he absolutely needs to. He does what he thinks is probably supposed to be done, explaining his relationship with Elle, and avoids the other stuff. Speaking of the other stuff, let's get into it. The main two things I'll be talking about are the lip-staring allegations, which are just...
If she was mean to you or she's out hard, we'd all fall apart. These past few months,
and the fan favorite, Will voice. Which, if you don't know, Mike has a specific voice that he uses whenever he talks to Will. Normally it's not something you would notice, but with season 4 it's just there all the time. Here are some examples.
We have to do something. Will can be in danger. I'm the only one that can. I got him. Retreating. I'm bored anyways. I'm really sorry, Mr. Clark. It was just a stupid prank.
Where is Will?
She didn't look fine. Fence, a building.
Is he okay? I don't know. I'm gonna get you home, okay? I'm gonna get you home. You okay? To her. Joining our party. It's just for Halloween. You should have checked with me.
Well, I was just messing around. Hey, let's finish for real.
Yeah.
How much longer is the campaign?
Just forget it, Mike.
No, you want to keep playing, right?
Yeah, totally.
We'll just call the girls afterwards.
I said forget it, Mike, okay?
Thanks, by the way.
For what?
For knocking some sense into me. I mean, I was being a total self-pitying idiot. Whatever it is, I think we should work together. I think it'll be easier if we're a team. Friends. Best friends.
Did you paint this?
Yeah?
Overall, Mike's character arc this season is just denial. On to the fandom stuff. That was Truck Stop Tiger, one of the most prominent Byler fandom things of that year, and personally one of my favorites when it comes to fandom stuff. In my videos, I haven't really gone over fan art or stuff that the fans have done after, well, I've definitely gone over fandom stuff, but fan art I haven't really gone over that much, mostly because I wasn't there for that era. But I was definitely there for this era, and Truck Stop Tiger was one of the more people that I watched more frequently. And just recently, while I was working on this video, I found out that the memes that they made actually came from a comic called 1 Week Mark. And I bring up 1 Week Mark first because I think it is one of the best examples of taking like two people from a show, or even just taking a show and creating like a whole thing out of it. They created their own original comic loosely based on Stranger Things, and this is what I mean when I say loosely.
Poor. Yeah, that sucks. Lucky for you, I'm normal, and I've brought exactly $10, which is enough to get us something from, are you gay? No. Home Depot. That's not a food getting place. Kill yourself. Fine. Oh, look, I'm smoking weed. Tell him to stop. Mike, stop. He doesn't like you smoking weed. Who? Mind Flayer. Mind Gayer. Mike, stop. Cock Slayer. Dude, stop. You're being cringe. I hate... No fucking way. It's fur color. No, I don't break in. Go on in. I fucking hate gay people.
Amendment 11, no being gay.
Do you like me? Yes, maybe. I'm still deciding.
This comic is still going on today, and it was one of the more original works in the whole sphere of fanfics pre-Volume 2. And speaking of, there were so many Byler fanfics being made that in the placings of the year of 2023, if you don't know, AO3 has a fanfics of the year placing where they count all the fanfics and all the fandoms, and they basically tally them up to see who had the most fanfictions this year and who had the least fanfictions this year. I'm pretty sure the list goes down to 50 or 100. I think it's a like top 100 list. Anyway, there were a lot of ships placed, but in 2023, the top ship #1 on the AO3 Fix of the Year list was Eddie Munson and Steve Harrington. Just let you guys sit with that. I don't know how many people ship it, evidently a lot, but I don't know. I was never really into them that much. That year, Byler went up 29 spots on the overall rankings list. They placed number 10, and they had almost 5,000 new fics in the rotation, with almost 10,000 fics already made. Also, Robin and Nancy went up 44 spots and placed 15. It's still a relatively popular ship today, and it placed 55 in this year's AO3 ship rankings. So is Steve and Eddie. They placed 10 in the rankings for this year's AO3 ship placings, and Byler did not place on the list. Today, the occasional Byler fic will pop up on Wattpad, AO3, any of those platforms, but just not as frequent as it was in 2023. Now, today, you have mostly people analyzing pictures or behind the scenes of Season 5 as it's being filmed, and as of recording, it's set to come out sometime at the end of 2025, so that'll be exciting. There are pretty frequent tweets and little screenshots on Pinterest of what people think might be happening, but that's mostly as deep as it goes for the analysis. Fan art is becoming more common though, as with the idea that Will become more of a main character like he was in Season 2 in Season 5. Wow, that is weird to say. Byler edits are still pretty common, along with Stranger Things edits in general. I personally think it's one of those shows where you could never just not edit it. You're always going to see at least one of them a week, kind of like The Walking Dead. There are a lot of ships, fics, dynamics, tons of things when it comes to Stranger Things because it was such a big show. Of course, people are going to want to ship the characters together, but with so many options like Byclaire, Lumax, Steady, Ronance, and Chopper, many of those ships being gay on their own, also the ship between Jonathan and Steve. Why is Byler such a popular one? Out of all the ships, Byler's the only one to surpass hashtags in 11, surpass the numbers in fics, and one of the only ones to even make the AO3 rankings list. Twice. LMAX doesn't have a 300-slide Google Doc linking scenes or talking about scenes that may be linked to its ship. Byclaire doesn't have a bunch of analysis videos, and Chopper definitely doesn't have as many memes and scene packs as Byler. Probably because the internet loves angst and gay people, and Byler has a whole bunch of it. It's interesting, rewatchable, their dynamics are really cute, and I'm pretty sure everybody just loves a miscommunication trope. Byler overall is just one of those ships where you could go down a rabbit hole if you really wanted to. Of course, I've made 3 analysis videos on it, so I may be a little biased. Now on to the final portion of the video, the ending predictions. First, we get the mundane ending, where it's implied that Will moves on or Mike and Will end together without any explicit themes or any explicit words to give us anything. Basically, subtext times 3, and the most likely ending.
Melodrama ending. Will dies. He becomes the final boy, probably confess or dies before he gets to confess, and they pull a ready.
The mega retcon. They sideline Will or Mike and Will's friendship completely, focusing on a big plot / series finale instead of our friends to lovers will they won't they.
They pull an Andy Mac, where Mike is straight or not ready to date him.
Mitski ending, where Will silently nods along the whole season and lets go of Mike without ever confessing, making this the saddest finale ever.
Flicker theory. Mike and Will end up in the upside down, wearing green, lights flicker, Byler happens.
Rare ending, where Will and Mike end up escaping death in some super dramatic ending, and you have ultra dramatic Byler. And that is the end of the video. Depending on when you're watching this, you either just spent an hour and some change listening to me, or 30 minutes listening to me. Either way, you've made it this far, so thanks for watching and enjoy some bloopers.
Flicker theory. Mike and Will end up in the upside down wearing green and...
Analysis of whatever Will's wearing in his season 4 outfit, in his season 5 outfit, and mostly just people looking at season 5 sneak peek. That was Truck Stop Tiger. That was Truck Stop Tiger.
Melodrama ending. Will dies. He becomes the final boy, probably to confess something, or probably dies before he confesses something. And they pull a ready. Melodrama ending. Will dies. Will...